And they're off in the first heat of the 1500 metre freestyle. This will be swum as a mixed event this morning, both including men and women, in lieu of the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, where men and women will be permitted to swim both the 800 and 1500 metre events. So this will begin to be introduced. So you'll start seeing these events being swum at more regional championships as we draw closer to those 2020 Tokyo Olympics. So turning first there, we have lane 4, Eleanor Valentine Bull of the Borough of Barnsley. Really important to not go out too fast over these 1500 metres. Very smooth stroke there exhibited by lane 4 and the Borough of Barnsley swimmer. Interesting to see how the mixed heats will affect this race. As we get to the faster heats, it will likely go towards a more male heat, but we shall see as these progress. So whilst we're getting comfortable for the 1500 metres, just a reminder that we are on Twitter today, so if you do want to give that shout out to a fellow swimmer, or if you're a parent at home joining us from another part of the UK or hopefully worldwide, do give us a tweet, which is at ASA Northeast, or pop the hashtag in, #SwimNortheast. And hopefully we'll get a few of those read out during the 1500 metres. So Eleanor Valentine Bull of the Borough of Barnsley maintaining that first position. Time of 1:56.46 at 1:50. So just a further mention, if we do see some very large PBs, some of the times for the 1500 metres for the ladies in this event will be generated based on their 800 metre times. So just to obviously bear that in mind when we do have the times confirmed across this and some of the other heats. Again, Jad Idris maintaining that stroke rate nice and smooth, not going out too fast at this stage in the race. There is a long way to go on this 1500 metres. Very important to strategically plan your race in this event. So Valentine Bull of the Borough of Barnsley going 3:20.13 at that last turn. In a very smooth stroke. She'll have done this many times in training, I'm sure. So again, a further reminder to those of you joining us on the stream, we do have a hashtag, which is #SwimNortheast. You can see that one in the bottom of the screen there. Do pop your messages out and we'll endeavour to read them out as these 1500 metre races progress. Starting to show a little more pace now, Jad, in lane 3. As we get towards the 350 metre turn. Still the field holding together quite nicely, which is good to see in these first heats. Eleanor still maintaining that lead as she comes in to the turn. Just under the boards, detailing 22 more laps to go. I think it's quite a task for those officials to keep those boards upright and showing the right numbers during the 1500 metres. I've seen a couple of events where they have taken a tumble into the pool. Just looking over the Twitter feed, got a tweet here from Rotherham Metro just saying a massive good luck to all of our swimmers taking part in the North East Region Championships this weekend. A little emoji of "you've got this." So good luck to all those swimmers from Rotherham Metro. So coming up to the 6-minute mark in this 1500 metres. Again, Eleanor Valentine-Ball stating that claim to first place, showing a really good pace. Nice and smooth, not pushing out too hard. Jad Idris turning in second and Blake Hooper there in third. The live results for these races, as they are confirmed, will pop up on the ASA North East Region website, so do check that out if you want to have a look at the confirmed times over the course of the race. They will be shown, of course, at the end, but if you want to have a look at those in live time, just drop a click to the ASA North East Region website. So Jad Idris really starting to pick up the pace in lane 3, stroke rate increasing. Eleanor still turning there first in 7:31.21. Jad coming back though quite strongly. So 18 laps to go there as they turn. Jad still keeping on the shoulder of the Borough of Barnsley swimmer at the 700 metre mark. Very psychological race, the 1500 metres. Really got to consider both what you're doing, but also keeping those paces correct in the different phases of the 1500 metres. So just to explain, if you're joining us on the live feed, welcome. We do have mixed heats for this 1500 metre freestyle, as in the Tokyo 2020 Olympics we will be adding the men's 800 metre freestyle and respectively the women's 1500 metre freestyle. So the swimming programme will begin to include these events in the respective categories to allow those swimmers to practice in lieu of the 2020 Olympics. So you can clearly see with the two swimmers out in front, lane 4, Eleanor Valentine-Ball of the Borough of Barnsley and Jad Idris of the City of Leeds. Both stroke rates slightly increasing. Jad trying to close that gap down between himself and Eleanor. This is where this race becomes really psychological, whether you actually stay with your own pace program that you'll have done in training and it'll be in your mind, or whether you actually have that extra little bit to push and go with the field. So it's a really difficult one. I used to swim this event and it was very much a challenge. I was quite young when I did it, didn't have the experience that these swimmers certainly do. But it is very much a psychological race, the 1500 metre. Few more tweets coming in on the hashtag Swim Northeast, so do remember that if you're sat in the venue here or you're joining us from wherever that may be, do pop us a little tweet and show your support to the swimmers in the respective events that they're swimming this morning and this weekend. We've got a tweet here from York City, just wishing luck to all of their swimmers competing in the Northeast region age groups. Eleanor Valentine Bull. Stroke rate increasing slightly, showing a little bit of tiredness maybe. But she still turns there in 11:42.75. With 12 laps to go when she finishes this. I have been talking about the swimmers in lane 4 and 3 quite a lot in this first heat of the 1500 metres, but looking at Blake Hooper in lane 5, really picking up that pace, legs are coming in there, driving himself forward. This is where you really can see things change. Swimmers' race plans will come into play. May catch those swimmers out that might have gone out a little bit too fast, but I think in the case of Eleanor here, it's gone out very steady. Good stroke rate, keeping it efficient. Just over 500 metres to go for these swimmers in this first heat of the mixed 1500 metre freestyle. And in lane 4, maintaining that first place in 13:47.94 at the 1000 metre mark. Eleanor's entry time was 20:42.74, so she will likely be looking to get close to that. Blake's 20:47.22 and Jad Idris from the City of Leeds 20:55. Dead on that 1500 metres. So Jad keeping that pace strong. Blake Hooper really making up that ground coming into this last 500 metres of the 1500 metres. Very mature swims being shown by these swimmers at 12 years of age. Making sure they pace accordingly. As we've mentioned, not going out too quickly is key, not being taken by the field. So turn there, going final 8 laps to go. Eleanor Valentine Bull, Barrow of Barnsley, turning in 15:11.13. Jad Idris, City of Leeds, turning second. Blake Hooper in 15:21.72. Today is a busy day media-wise in the world. We have the royal wedding going on this afternoon. So do make sure that you've got 2 devices if you're looking to tune into that, so you can keep up with the swimming action here on the North East Region live stream. And of course we've got the FA Cup final between Manchester United and Chelsea taking place at Wembley this evening. So a full day of packed action here. Eleanor Valentine Bull turning there in 17:16.06 at the 1250 metre mark. 250 metres left of this long course mixed 1500. Blake Hooper of Derwent side just turning there 17:32.86. After this 1500 metre freestyle this morning, we have the girls 400 metre individual medley coming up, followed by the boys 200 butterfly, girls 100 backstroke, boys 100 metre breaststroke, girls 200 metre freestyle, followed by the 50 metre events for the boys, 50 metre freestyle, and the girls 50 metre breaststroke. So a real mixture coming up this morning. I'm sure to see some fast swimming. Heading into the last 200 metres. Eleanor Valentine Bull really kicking in. You can see her stretching that lead. Really mature swimming shown by Eleanor of the Borough of Barnsley. Interesting to compare the two, with Eleanor who's got slightly less of a kick. Jad Idris breaking the water a little bit more there with his kick. Slightly faster stroke rate. Interesting to see how the different swimmers approach the 1500 metres. Really see Jad increasing the stroke rate as we go into the last 150. Incredibly smooth swim from the swimmer in lane 4. Very efficient stroke as she comes down towards the last turn, going into the last 100 metres. Officials blowing their whistles just to signify in case any swimmers might have lost count. Not sure at this level that would be the case. You never know, it's a long, enduring distance, the 1500 metres. So Eleanor Valentine Bull turning in an 18:38.26. So Eleanor's 1500 metre time will likely have been generated based on the 800 metre times due to this inclusion of the 1500 metres event in lieu of the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo. It's interesting to see how these swimmers finish. A very strong swim shown throughout by all of these swimmers, but specifically to note, lane 4, Eleanor Valentine Bull showing very smooth stroke. Legs coming in now into this last 50. Jad Idris picking up the stroke rate. Again, a very strong swim shown from him. Blake Hooper. Just turning there into his last 50 metres. And Eleanor Valentine-Ball finishing there in a 20:36.54. She'll be happy with that, just about 6 seconds from her entry time. Jad Idris 20:44.78, again 3 seconds under his entry time. Lane 5 just finishing now, we have Blake Hooper of Derwent's side. Just as he finishes, touching the wall there in a 21:11.88. Taking that third place for Heat 1. Just waiting for those times to be confirmed. Just wait for those swimmers to clear the water. Official results have now been confirmed as announced. So underway with a full complement of swimmers in Heat 2 of the 1500 metre freestyle. Actually, I'm incorrect, apologies. Not quite a full complement. Missing a swimmer in lane 9 there. So as mentioned in the first 1500 metre heat, interesting to see how this complement of swimmers looks to attack this race, whether some go out a little bit faster. They will have gone over and over this plan in their racing, in their training sessions with their coaches. It's pretty much turning in a 3. We had James Plant, the Borough of Kirklees, on that first turn, but as I say, anything can happen over this 1500 metres. Very much a paced race. Strong first 100 metres from lane 0, Lauren Heppel of Chesterley Street. So see if she can maintain this throughout the 1500 metres. As we go down this 150 metre length, you can see all things have changed. Lane 3, Emily Headley of Tynemouth, coming to the front of the field. Interestingly, not showing lane 3 there. It's 3 and 6. Starting to break away now, coming down to the 200 metre turn. Lane 0, really strong swim from Lauren Heppel in the first 200 metres. Trying to go with those first 4 swimmers in lanes 3, 4, 5 and 6. There we go, lane 3's popped back up there. Emily Headley of Tynemouth, turning in 2:30.38. Range of swimmers from 11 through to 13, the youngest being lane 8, Alex Boyer of Darlington. And the 13-year-old swimmer Henry Firth of the City of Leeds going in lane 5. Really interesting having the mixed heat on this 1500 metres. I think just about turning first there was lane 3. Might be a slight technical issue with the pad that end. It doesn't seem to be showing that time. Just coming up to that halfway point. Looks like lane 6 and lane 3, as mentioned, are starting to pull away. See people settling into their stroke rates now as they turn. Emily Headley turning first. Henry First, City of Leeds, turning second according to the timings here. Slightly different in the pool. It's lane 6, I think, slightly turning in the second position. But that will be confirmed towards the end of the race. Again, this is where you've really got to keep your head in the game as a swimmer. Really think about your race plan, or whether you can afford to stretch out that little bit extra. Go for that personal best over the 1500 metre race. Lane 6 there, Emma Finley of Gates and Wickham. Really steady, smooth stroke. Really starting to break that 4-lane field apart that's taken the lead. A really strong swim from lane 0. From Lauren Heppel of Chester Street. Of Emma Finley of Gates and Wickham turning first in a 5:07 dead. Closely chased by Henry Firth of the City of Leeds, 5:07.84. And Emily Headley of Timer, 5:09.65. Reminder to those who might just be joining us for these latter heats of the 1500 metre freestyle, you can tweet us. So do keep Twitter active at ASA Northeast, but also use the hashtag SwimNortheast so we can find you and give you a shout out on the live stream. So if you're in venue cheering your colleagues on, or if you're on the live stream tuning in, do give us a tweet at ASA Northeast or hashtag SwimNortheast. Again, turning there. Board showing 20 laps to go. Emma Finley turning first there of Gates and Wickham, followed by Henry Firth of the City of Leeds, really establishing that first and second place, pulling away from the rest of the field. Turning fourth, Lauren Happel of Chester Street. Really has brought dominance to her race right from the beginning. Chester Street swimmer down in lane 0. So splitting at that 600 metre point. Emma Finley of Gates and Wickham turning first. Henry Firth of the City of Leeds turning in second. Third, Emma Headley of Tynemouth. Fourth, Lauren Heppel maintaining that position, Chester Street. Fantastic swim from her. Fifth, Billy Greenacre, Kingston upon Hull. Naturally, as commentators, we do speak about those swimmers leading the heat, but it's so important for the swimmers who are in those middle positions and towards the back of the heat to really focus on their race strategy. Just because they're not in that top 2 positions or top 3 doesn't mean they're not swimming fantastically. They really need to focus on their race strategy. And as we've said, anything can change in this 1500 metres. Maybe that some swimmers have gone out a little bit too quickly. Can happen. Emma Findlay turning there in 9:01.33, breathing every 3 as she comes down 700 metre mark. Showing really strong swimming from her. And Henry Firth of the City of Leeds, 9:03.35. Nice to see so many swimmers on poolside through these 1500 metres. Normally they are swum before other events. It can be a bit lonely from my experience as a swimmer when you get in there first. It's fantastic to see these teams being here and supporting their fellow swimmers. It's a really difficult event, this 1500 metres. So as we turn at 800 metres, 10:19.48, Emma Findlay, followed by Henry Firth, the City of Leeds. Lanes 1 and 2 showing a strong battle as well. Ariana Stokes of Tynemouth and Reese Blackett of Newcastle. Really maintaining a strong pace between the two of them in lanes 1 and 2. Just looking at the Twitter feed as they turn into that 850 to 900 metre length from Ashington Swimming Club. Good luck to our swimmers Neve, Catherine, Jack L and Bella at the first day of the North East Regional Champs. So good luck to them from all at Ashington Swimming Club. In 0 and 3, really powering on together. Emma Headley of Tynemouth and Lauren Heppel of Chester Street, keeping those stroke rates smooth and long and efficient as they come up to this 950 metre mark. Emma Findlay and Henry Firth holding those first 2 positions. Turning in 3rd, James Plant, the Borough of Kirklees, turning in 12:31.13. Followed by Lauren Heppel of Chester Street. Henry Firth, the City of Leeds, really starting to come back on the shoulder of Emma Findlay. But Henry Firth in lane 5, 13-year-old swimmer from the city of Leeds. In lane 6, Emma Finley, 12 from Gates and Wickham. And coming into this turn, pretty much turning together. Yep, 3/100ths of a second between those swimmers at the moment. Interesting to see whether Emma continues with Henry, or whether we've mentioned this all-important race strategy kicks in and they focus on their own individual 1500 metres. James Plant at the Borough of Kirklees maintaining that third place. Lauren Heppel from Chester Street out in lane 0. So just a quick mention, did have a few technical problems getting the stream online for the first heat of the 1500 metres this morning, but do not panic, they will be available later on once this is uploaded fully. It has been recorded, so there should be no issue with that, so if you're wanting to share with friends or relatives or watch them back as swimmers, it will be available. That will be available later today once the session has been fully compressed and uploaded by the team here. So Henry Firth just edging away from Emma Finley of Gates and Wickham in that lane 5 and 6 battle. And just mentioning the officials doing a great job with those boards. Not the easiest of equipment to manage. James Plant, the Borough of Kirklees, in third place. Henry Firth with an entry time of 19:43.5. Emma Finley, 19:46.61. Just over a minute separating this field. It'll be interesting to see how they finish up along with their entry times. Henry Firth really pulling away now in lane 5. Lane 4, James Plant just turning there, 17:12.69 in lane 4. Just picking up the stroke rate slightly from him. Still pushing each other along at lane 3 and lane 0. Emma Headley of Tynemouth and Lauren Heppel of Chester Street. Really strong swimming shown from those outside lanes. Really difficult to gauge the field. And dealing with splash created from the other lanes has quite an impact as well when you're getting tired. The arms feel heavy. That's not being shown by lanes 5 and 6 as they come into those final laps. Henry Firth really kicking in, you can see the legs pick up. the City of Leeds, turning in 18:08.8. Emma Finley from Gates and Wickham. Very smooth stroke throughout this 1500 metres. James Plant, Borough of Kirklees, just turning into those last 100 metres. Just for those at home who might not be hugely following of swimming or necessarily appreciate the longevity of this race, it's so enduring. It may look to the untrained eye like these swimmers are using the low stroke rates, but it really burns. From experience, this event really hurts. So the arms will feel heavy, the legs will feel heavy. So see the swimmers really kicking in. It's really impressive. So Henry Firth coming down that final 25 metres. City of Leeds with an entry time, of 19:43.5. Well clear of that. 19:25.85. Fantastic swim from him. Emma Finley, Gates and Wickham, 19:29.7. Huge personal best. Improvements on their entry time there. James Plant, really strong swim again. Coming there in third. Borough of Kirklees, swimmer there, 19:48.13. Just waiting for that one to be confirmed. There's always a little bit of a delay. Just keep you on your toes as they finish up on this 1500 metres. Lanes 1 and lane 7 finishing pretty much simultaneously. Lane 1, Reece Blackett of Newcastle, 20:13.67. So Lauren Heppel out there in lane 0, who we mentioned at the beginning, coming with a really strong improvement on her entry time. Really impressive from those outside lanes to do that. Finally, swimmer in lane 8, Alex Boyer of Darlington. His entry time 20:30.94. Just a little bit outside that. Just a fantastically strong swim, really kicking into those last 25 for him. So coming in there to finish in a 20:56.79. Looking at this, we do have a full complement of swimmers for heat 3 of this 1500 metres. Ranging from 12 through to 14. Swimmers, they're really using that 15 metres of underwater to their advantage on this first length of the 1500 metres. In lane 0, William Morris of Middlesbrough. In lane 1, George Knowles of the City of Leeds. In 2, Rhys Ridderford of the City of Leeds. In 3, Luke Clegg of the Borough of Kirklees. In 4, Cohen Stevenson of Doncaster Darts. In 5, Charlie Broom of the City of Leeds. 6, Samuel Akers of the City of Bradford. 7, Joshua Robinson of Derwenside. 8, Samuel Emmett of the City of Leeds. And in lane 9, Emily Oliver of the Borough of Kirklees. So those lanes 6, 4 and 3 really pulling away on this first 100. Luke Clegg, Borough of Kirklees, just edging out at 1:08.93, his first 100 metres. Four and 3 turning simultaneously pretty much there. Lane 6 edging them out. Samuel Akers maintaining that lead. But as we say, anything can change in the 1500 metres, depending on how these swimmers have planned out their race strategy, how they've trained for this 1500 metre race. A tweet from Fiona Roberts. Good luck to Halifax Club swimmers Molly and Matthew competing at the ASA Age Group Championships today. Hopefully regional championships, I hope that one. But good luck to Molly and Matthew. I'm sure their races will be coming up soon. Samuel Akers really dominating these first few hundred metres of this 1500 metre race. Really getting into those straight rates, keeping them as efficient as possible. Split times at 250 metres, you can see there on the side of the live stream. So if you're sat at home with a cup of tea or at work, wherever you are, do pop us a tweet. A little bit longer than 1500 metres, so it'd be great to shout out to some of those swimmers. Might be in the pool, might be coming up later this morning or this afternoon. That hashtag is hashtag #SwimNortheast. I'll endeavour to read as many of those out as I can over this 1500 metres. So, Samuel Akers of the City of Bradford really stretching away. Lane 2, Reese Ridderford of the City of Leeds, though, really stretching out, just trying to pull away from the shoulders of lane 3 and 4. As they come into that turn, but lane 4, Stevenson of Doncaster Darts, just keeping on the shoulder there. Samuel Akers, City of Bradford swimmer, turning in 4:55.38. Reese Ridderford, City of Leeds, 4:58.44. Really interesting to see at the 500 metre, just shy of the 500 metre mark, how the field splits and how different sets of swimmers, depending on race strategy and whether they go with the swimmers nearby, how that really splits apart and pushes the swimmers forward. Tactically a really interesting race. Nice to see the John Charles Centre for Sport getting on Twitter, getting involved to let us know where you're watching from, who you're cheering on, what team you're part of on the hashtag #SwimNortheast. That's hashtag #SwimNortheast. Lane 2, Reese Ridderford, City of Leeds, really coming back. tracking down Samuel Akers of the City of Bradford in lane 6, who's maintained that lead from pretty much the beginning of this 1500 metres. Still a long way to go yet. Interesting to see on some of these swimmers that some bilateral breathe, some breathe on the same side. I think the opinion of which is better or which is more streamlined has changed over the years, certainly. Interesting to see which these swimmers employ over this 1500 metres. And as they get closer towards the end of the race, sometimes that can change. For lane 6, Samuel Akers still maintaining that lead in lane 6, but just looking over his shoulder across to lane 2. Rhys Ridderford, City of Leeds. So important over any race to be aware of your competitors, obviously not to be too absorbed by them, especially on the longer distance races like this. Just coming up to 8.5 minute mark into this 1500 metre freestyle. 16 laps to go. These swimmers coming in, turning it around the 8:42 mark for lane 2 and 6. Sam Akers and Rhys Ridderford really on the shoulder of one another now. Lane 6, Sam Akers just turning before Rhys Ridderford. Lane 4 turning there in the 3rd, Cohen Stevenson of Doncaster Darts. Just to recap the events this morning. Following this 1500 metre freestyle, we've got the girls 400 metre individual medley coming up. Boys 200 butterfly, girls 100 backstroke. Boys 100 metre breaststroke, girls 200 metre freestyle. Finishing up with the 50 metre events of the boys 50 metre freestyle and the girls 50 metre breaststroke. So some excitement to finish off the first session of the North East Regional Age Group Championships. Session 2, the finals commencing at 3:30 this afternoon. So as and when I receive results, try and convey those as best I can over our lovely live stream. So Rhys Ridderford just on that turn, just edging out Sam Akers of the City of Bradford. Really pulling away, turning in a 10:37.45 at that last turn. Really opening that gap up. So Rhys's entry time was 19:04.7. Sam Akers of the City of Bradford, 19:02.7. So not a huge distance apart across this 1500 metres, so anything could change. As we've seen in these last heats, leads change a few times. But looking like these two are really stretching away from the field now, showing that dominance in this heat. Yellow hat of the City of Leeds swimmer pulling away. Comes into that turn, lane 6. City of Bradford swimmer Sam Akers looking to tire slightly, but still maintaining that straight rate, still keeping up with Reese. Followed by, I think you've got 4 swimmers there in 0, 1, 4 and 7. Pretty much turning within reach of one another. So it'll be interesting to see where those 3rd, 6th place positions go to. Can't quite see on the live stream feed, but in venue you can really see them fighting out for those places. So Reese Ridderford, City of Leeds, just turning there. Samuel Akers of the City of Bradford just turning as well in lane 6. It's 3, 4 and 7. Pretty much turning maybe 2 or 3 seconds of one another. It's over this 1500 metres. The swimmer in the lane next to you is tiring slightly. You can really take advantage of that. Reese Ridderford split at 10:50, 13:08. Followed by Sam. He's really opening up that gap between himself and the City of Leeds swimmer up in lane 6. Sorry, the City of Bradford swimmer in lane 6. Leg kick picking up from Reese Ridderford. Turns in 14:24.65. By lane 6, Samuel Akers, City of Bradford. Closely followed in by William Morris of Middlesbrough and George Knowles of the City of Leeds, just out of shot in lanes 0 and 1. Just a quick look over the shoulder there from Reese Ridderford just to assess the situation. Nothing seems to be phasing him today. Really strong stroke. Sam Akers as well up in lane 6. Really pushing through. It'll really begin to hurt, as we were saying earlier, on this 1500 metres. Really tactical and psychological event, this one. Reese Ridderford split at 12:50, 15:40.74. Sam Akers just over 6 seconds behind. So William Morris again, George Knowles, lane 0 and 1. Turning there in 3rd and 4th. Getting into the last 200 metres of this 1500 metre event. Sam Akers still out there in front. Gap shortening a little bit to Samuel Akers of the City of Bradford. Lane 1, George Knowles, the City of Leeds. Turning in 16:40.43. 1500 metres. That would be a very long 1500 metres if they had another 1500 metres to go. 150 metres more of this 1500 to go for these swimmers up in front. Reese Ridderford and Sam Akers really showing some dominance right from the beginning. These changed a couple of times between the two of them. Fisher's just blowing the whistles just to let those swimmers know that they're on their final laps for this 1500 metres. This is the point at which, as a swimmer, if you've got anything left, this is the point at which you throw it in. In 1, George Knowles turning there. In 3 and 4 and 7. Still not a million miles apart from one another. 7 making the break, Joshua Robinson, Derwin side. Lane 4, Cohen Stevenson, Doncaster Darts and Luke Clegg pushing each other along through this 1500 metres. So 50 metres left to go for these two swimmers. Got Samuel Akers really coming back against lane 2, Reese Ridderford. See what happens as they pass this first 25 metres, the final 50 metres. Getting pretty together, a really strong comeback from Sam Akers of the City of Bradford on this last 50. Really something to dig deep on this last 50 and push through. So this will be really hurting for these two chaps. So really coming in, and I mean, I couldn't call that at this point. I mean, I think it will be, yes it is, Sam Akers. Fantastic swim from him, 18:50.25. And from Reese Ridderford, 18:50.51. Fantastic swims from both these lads to finish that close to one another. At least it's changed a few times. But Sam Akers, over 10 seconds improvement on his entry time. There, Reese Ridderford. Again, just under 15 seconds. These incredible improvements for these swimmers. Slight bit there with the head-up times. I think as we don't have a third, but first Sam Akers, really fantastic comeback in the last 50 metres for him. Move on to heat number 4. Two more ladies appearing in this one. Waiting for the referee just to settle the swimmers down before the start. Just make sure everyone's clear from that 1500 metre heat. Just retrieving a little bit of debris there. While we're doing that, just a little reminder, haven't seen many tweets coming through yet, so I'm sure if you're on poolside here in Leeds, or let us know from wherever you are watching the live feed. It's great to see so much support for the swimmers at these championships. So just dealing with a poolside alarm, I think, that's going off here. So just a little pause. Just waiting for that. Obviously we can't start until things are completely quiet. So just a little bit of pause for these swimmers. Really important that they keep their head in the game while they're waiting to be called up to the blocks. We are ready to get started with heat 4, the 1500 metre freestyle. So in this heat, which is heat number 4 of the 1500 metre freestyle, in lane 0, Summer Thomas of the city of Sheffield. In 1, Benjamin Rogers of the borough of Stockton. In 2, Georgia Robertson of the city of Sheffield. In 3, Neve Carroll of the city of Leeds. In 4, Evie Barber of Grimsby Aquatics. In 5, Bethany Crump of Grimsby Aquatics. In 6, Luke Booth of Rotherham. In 7, Leo White of Derwentside. In 8, Ruby Knight of the borough of Kirklees. And in 9, Luke McGee of the city of Sunderland. Turning first there at that 50, Luke McGee, city of Sunderland, 31.87. Putting a stamp on that first 50 metres. But again, anything can change over these laps of the 1500 metres. Outside lanes really making their mark, coming down to this first 100 metre turn. Lane 1, Ben Rogers, borough of Stockton. Turned second into that first 50, turned first into this. I'm having a couple of technical issues with the results, so just be aware of that. Obviously, keeping half an eye on the results and times that pop up in the corner. So still pretty much together as a field. Split time at 1:50. Ben Rogers, borough of Stockton, turning in 1:44.72. Ben Rogers turning first, lane 4. Breaking away from the field a little bit, Evie Barber, Grimsby Aquatics. Picking up lane 1 there on the results, so just need to pop him in at the top. Evie Barber turning just ahead of Ben Rogers, borough of Stockton. Lane 5, looking to go with her, Bethany Crump of Grimsby Aquatics, teammates there. For getting up there in lane 9, Luke McGee, city of Sunderland. Tussling away with Bethany Crump in lane 5 for that 3rd place. Lanes 4 and 1 pretty much turning together. Evie Barber just edging out Ben Rogers of borough of Stockton at that 300 metre split. So Evie Barber turning there in 4:13.04 at this 350 metre mark. Really important to maintain your stroke rate, keep to your race plan, not get carried away if part of the field do go off quicker than you'd planned to. Some lovely tweets coming through from these first heats of the 1500 metres, really lovely. Lorraine Lawrence saying Lauren Heppel has made the 4 AM alarm worth it already. Massive shout out to these parents that do, and coaches as well, that do make these early starts to get these swimmers to training each day. There's a lot of people behind the scenes that do a lot of hard work and a lot of early mornings to make sure that these swimmers can be race ready and here for these 1500 metre races first thing on a Saturday. So Lorraine Lawrence, massive 46-second improvement for Lauren Heppel on her entry time. Splitting on a 13-second 800 metre PB. Fantastic, well done. Brilliant to see this now they've introduced these events in the respective groupings for Tokyo 2020. Men, of course, will have the opportunity to swim the 800 metres, and the ladies will be swimming the 1500 metres to bring things into line. So Evie Barber there of Grimsby Aquatics, pulling away from the field. Really showing her strength over this 1500 metres. 18 laps to go, as shown by those boards. Hopefully they won't need them as swimmers, but I was a little bit forgetful when I was a bit younger, so they were very useful over the old 800 metre races as well. Things have changed an incredible amount since I was in that pool. It's making me feel a little bit old, actually. But fantastic swimming from these guys. Really mature swimming shown as well, especially by the younger swimmers in this 1500 metres. So second and third place really being battled for. Lane 0 and lane 3 coming back really strongly. The 650 mark, stroke rate increasing. Always got to be a little bit cautious to make sure you don't put that power in too early. They'll have explored their race strategy and what ifs with their coaches in training. A lot to remember for these swimmers as they're going up and down. To the untrained eye, it might seem that it's a long old race and it seems quite smooth, but it's grueling, this 1500 metres. I can't emphasise it enough. It really is. So just a note to those who might be watching this back later on this evening. Did have a few technical problems this morning, so apologies if my voice isn't coming to you live from Leeds, but we are working as quickly as we can to get this one fixed. Joys of technology. No, it never works when you want it to. All wet last night, but not this morning. So just coming up there on the 9-minute mark, lane 4, Evie Barber, Grimsby Aquatics. Telling you 9:08.31. Lanes 1 and 5 really pushing each other there. Pretty much, lane 5, Bethany Crump turning just ahead of Ben Rogers. Borough Stockton has been dominant from the beginning. Ben Stockton down in 1. Lane 3 in the yellow hat, Neve Carroll, City of Leeds. Keeping up with lane 1. Not being forgotten about down there. Nice to see City of Leeds teammates on poolside, giving her a bit of encouragement. there in lane 9. Luke McGee, City of Sunderland, really coming back to catch up this front part of the heat. This is where I say anything could really change in these 1500 metre races, depending on what their race plans are and their awareness of the race. But really smooth, effortless looking swim from the swimmer in lane 4, Eve Barber, Grimsby Aquatics. Turning in 11.2. Just over the halfway point in this 1500 metres, just about 600 metres to go. So Evie Barber, Grimsby Aquatics, really stretching away in lane 4. Teammate Bethany Crump just in the other side of the shot there, coming back. Ben Rogers not out of the frame either. So really these 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th places in this heat are really anyone's game at this point at the 1000 metre mark. Evie Barber turning in 12:14:24. Bethany Crump, Grimsby Aquatics, turning in 2nd, 12:26:11. Forgetting about up in lane 9, Luke McGee, City of Sunderland. .400 metres left for Evie Barber. At that 1100 metre mark, 13:28:59. It's 5 and 1. Still taking themselves together. Bethany and Benjamin really battling out for that 2nd place. Evie Barber's entry time for this event was 18:32:75. Incredible time. Still looking very smooth, very together, legs coming back in as we've seen in these previous heats. Swims will be starting to feel it now at this 1200 metre mark. It's nice to see it's not showing in her stroke. Really smooth, really focused, really together. We'll just keep you updated on those second and third spots. Bethany Crump, Grimsby Aquatics. Niamh Carroll, City of Leeds, 14:59.88, turning in third according to my screens. As they come up there to that turn, just going out of shot, you see the three of them fighting it out together. Evie Barber, Grimsby Aquatics, coming back down towards the 1400 metre mark. When she touches, she'll have 100 metres left of this race to go. Just over 40 seconds splitting this heat on paper. Really asserting her dominance on this heat is Evie Barber of Grimsby Aquatics. Just in a pool of her own at the moment. Keeping stroke rate nice and smooth. Coming into turn now, lane 3. Niamh Carroll, City of Leeds, followed by Ben Rogers, Borough of Stockton. Fourth, lane 5. Bethany Crump, Grimsby Aquatics. Interesting to see how this pans out down this last 100 metres for those second to fifth spots. Niamh Carroll, City of Leeds hat, just going down there in the second place. Brilliant swim from Evie Barber here, Grimsby Aquatics, showing maturity over this 1500 metre distance. So she will no doubt be coming in this last 100 metres really strong. 17:11 she turns in there. So she had an entry time of 18:32.75. Maintaining that second place is Niamh Carroll, City of Leeds, followed by Ben Rogers, Borough of Stockton. Bethany Crump just under 2 seconds behind Ben Rogers. Grimsby Aquatics coming in fourth. Now we'll see if Evie Barber, of this fantastic 1500 metres that she's shown here, has got a little bit left in the tank. Can she best that entry time of 18:32? I think she may well do. See exactly what that time is. Finishing there, strong touch there. 18:23.69. Brilliant swim. So just over 8 seconds for entry time. Incredible swims. Fantastic to see where these swimmers go, especially the ladies who've had this event introduced into their programme in lieu of the Olympics. See them come through the ranks now, it's there. Showing some really fantastic swims. So Evie Barber touching first in 18:23.69. Niamh Carroll confirmed in third there. Don't have a second, so just bear with us with the results. I think there might be a little gremlin still in there somewhere. I have to say, fantastic swims from all those swimmers over this 1500 metres, but especially those in these first to fifth positions. Really battled over this 1500 metres. Settling down now for heat number 5. Only one female swimmer in this field. Millie Boulding, the Borough of Kirklees, going in lane 4. So giving you the swimmers' names, we have in lane 0, Harrison Lee, City of Wakefield. 1, Brody Clark, Borough of Kirklees. Lane 2, James Woods of Middlesbrough. In 3, Brandon Cartwright of the Borough of Kirklees. 4, Millie Boulding of the Borough of Kirklees. In 5, Mason Bland of Kingston upon Hull. In 6, Ben Wright of Doncaster Darts. In 7, Elliot Best of Newcastle. In 8, Daniel Cutter of Richmond Dale. And in 9, Lewis Baker of the City of Sheffield. So coming to this first turn, just over the minute mark. Turning first is Mason Bland, Kingston upon Hull, 104.25. This is the final heat of this 1500 metres. So welcome to those of you that are potentially just joining us in lieu of the girls 400 metre IM, which is coming up next. But first, the fastest heat of this 1500 metres. Sure to be some exciting swimming and changes in place coming in this 1500 metre heat. Mason Bland of Kingston upon Hull maintaining that first place on his turn, 138.98. Again, making sure the stroke's really smooth with water. Minimal resistance, maximum efficiency. Was always something that was drilled into me when I was swimming. I'm sure there's many, many more tips and strategies out there at this time. Things have changed quite a lot since then. So Mason Bland maintaining that first. James Wood of Middlesbrough turning in second. The centre lanes really quite tightly packed at that 300 metre mark. So Mason Bland turning there in the green shorts in lane 5. 2:48.43 for Mason Bland there. Lane 2, James Woods of Middlesbrough. Just holding that second place, just holding off lane 6, Ben Wright of Doncaster Darts. Millie Boulding of the Borough of Kirklees, really holding her own in the middle of that field. Millie Boulding, a fantastic entry time of 17:15.87, so an incredible time. Closest female entry to her would have been Evie Barber in 18:32 based on entry times. So we'll see what she comes in with at the 1500 metre mark. But an absolutely stunning entry time for Millie Boulding at the Borough of Kirklees, 17:15. So 22 laps to go as they come in to this turn. Still Mason Bland, lane 5, Kingston upon Hull. Touching in 4:33.77. Followed by James Woods, Middlesbrough, 4:35.43. Just under 2 seconds between the two. That pack of 5 swimmers, including Millie Boulding. So anything could change in these lanes. Lanes 3, Brandon Cartwright, Borough of Kirklees, 4, Millie Boulding, Borough of Kirklees teammate. Lane 5, Mason Bland, who's in dominance from the start of this 1500. Finally, Ben Wright's there in lane 6 of Doncaster Darts. So Mason Bland turning first there in 5:44.11. So a good bit of multitasking coming across here on the streams, on the tweets. A few little technical gremlins still with our feed, so apologies if you are joining us perhaps this afternoon after the royal wedding. But a tweet from Amy Simeon, multitasking at the ASA North East region age groups. One eye on Richmond Dale swimmers and the other on the royal wedding. Good luck to all of those swimmers. So yes, do make sure you've got your 2 devices ready. So you've got your swimming on one and your royal wedding on the other, if you need to keep up to speed. If you're more football focused, much like myself, the FA Cup final will be played this evening between Manchester United and Chelsea. So Mason Bland, Kingston upon Hull, lane 5. Stretching away. The second, lane 2, James Woods of Middlesbrough. Forming a pretty much a little bit of a line as they come under the flags there. Lanes 3, 4 and 6. Brandon, Millie and Ben as they all turn there within half a second of one another. So they'll be really aware of where they are as they're swimming, taking a little sneaky glance over the shoulder, but not letting it impact the race too much. So important to use the peripherals and not actually physically turn your head, because it can damage your stroke, make you less streamlined. Lane 2, James Woods noticeably picking up the stroke rate now. Just over the 9-minute mark. Millie Boulding, Borough of Kirklees, just edging away the 2 chaps in lane 6 and lane 3. Some strong swimming from her. Slightly quicker stroke rate from Millie than the chaps either side. Just edging them away. Not completely off the shoulder just yet. As they turn, Millie turns first. 3 and 6, pretty much simultaneous. Brandon just edging out on 9:21.66. Mason Bland, Kingston upon Hull, really keeping the stroke smooth. It's been a continuous theme through these 1500 metres. Really composed, smooth strokes. Maximum efficiency. Brodie Clark, Borough of Kirklees. It's gone out of shot. Lane 2, James Woods, Middlesbrough. Just closing that gap down a little bit to Mason Bland. In lane 5, Millie Boulding still just holding that position of third. Possibly then Ben into Brandon down in lane 3, but still really anyone's call at this point. Those second, third, fourth and fifth positions. See at the tops and bottoms of your screens, those swimmers still pushing on in lanes 0 and 1. Harrison Lee, Brodie Clark, City of Wakefield and the Borough of Kirklees respectively, and at the top we've got Lewis Baker, the City of Sheffield, Daniel Cutter of Richmond Dale and Elliot Best of Newcastle. Still pushing on, just out of shot. Very strong swimming from them. So the all-important lap card showing 8 laps to go. As Mason turns in 12:48.46 from Kingston upon Hull. So 400 metres left for these swimmers. So just to recap the events that we've got coming up this morning. Still plenty of action for you. Girls 400 metre individual medley will follow this event, followed by the boys 200 metre butterfly, girls 100 metre backstroke, boys 100 metre breaststroke, girls 200 metre freestyle, and then finishing up the morning session with the boys 50 metre freestyle and the girls 50 metre breaststroke. So some splash and dash at the back end of this morning session, which is always good fun. So Millie Boulding of the Borough of Kirklees stretching away from the two chaps in lanes 3 and 2. Not clearly away from them just yet, but she's maintained that position over the last 200 to 300 metres. So Mason Bland 17:20.6 on paper here for his entry time, so hoping for an improvement on that for him. At the rate he's going, he should do that. So those 4 swimmers in that pack, still not shaken anyone particularly clear of that yet. Mason Bland, as we know, throughout has dominated, taken that lead. But Millie Boulding just starting to push away. From James Woods in 2, Brandon Clark in 3. Ben Wright of Doncaster Darts up in 6. But certainly Mason Bland maintaining the stroke rate, keeping his 1500 metre race calm and composed. .150 metres more for Mason Bland. 15:46.52. Boulding turning in 15:53.06. So hear those all familiar whistles as those swimmers come up to the final laps of this 1500 metre freestyle. It's really nice to see this event brought in so early before the games, allowing those swimmers to really push themselves further. For the ladies in the 1500 metres and the men in the 800 metres. And we've had such greats as Becky Adlington leading the way in our last, the Olympics before, sorry, London 2012. Be nice to see this developed out into Tokyo 2020. So Mason Bland coming down now to finish his 1500 metre freestyle. Millie Boulding just fighting off lanes 3 and lane 6 for that third and second place. And Mason Bland finishing in 17:29.39. I think it will be lane 3. Brandon Cartwright, the Borough of Kirklees. Followed by Millie Boulding, 17:38.16. So just outside their entry times for these swimmers. But fantastic swimming nonetheless. Really strong 1500 metres. And that front pack of 5 swimmers really jostled for those 2nd to 5th places throughout this 1500 metres. So first Mason Bland, Kingston upon Hull, 17:29.39. Second Brandon Cartwright, Borough of Kirklees, 17:37.40. And third Millie Boulding, Borough of Kirklees, 17:38.16. Finishing at the top of your screen, Lewis Baker, City of Sheffield, 18:24.13. Coming into touch now the final swimmers, Harrison Lee, City of Wakefield in lane 0. And Elliot Best of Newcastle up in lane 7.
Well done, swimmers. We now move on to our next event. This is event 102. It's the girls 11 to 14 years, 1200 metres higher. We have 7 heats in this event. Heat number 1, Joanna, under the control of the referee.
So we now pick up with the girls 11 to 14 years 400 metre individual medley. Looking like the referee is going to be starting over the top of the swimmers in the 1500 metres for ease. Referee has opted for a bit of a clear, just in lieu of the 400 metre individual medley. So the 400 metre individual medley will comprise of 7 heats. This first heat will have 3 swimmers, as you can see in the top left. Charlotte Bianchi of the City of Sheffield, lane 3. Jess Widdowson, City of Leeds, lane 4. And Jasmine Ball, the Borough of Barnsley, lane number 5. Standing down the swimmers, we've got a technical issue just on Paul's side. I think the Gremlins are out in force today, the technical equipment. I'll just say a thank you to the officials though on Paul's side and to the volunteers that make these regional events possible. Without them, certainly these things wouldn't take place, so a massive thank you to them. Also extends out to the parents and the coaches of the swimmers as well. Without the many hours and early mornings that we've heard about on Twitter today. 4 o'clock starts in places, it's fantastic. But really committed, so a massive thank you to everyone who puts the hard work in. To obviously get the swimmers here and prep them and make them race ready. Just waiting for a time to be confirmed from the last 1500 metre event. Ready and underway with the first heat of this 400 metre individual medley. 3 swimmers in this one. Bit of everything in the 400 metre individual medley for those who aren't familiar with the event. Starting off with butterfly, going onto the backstroke, into the breaststroke, and finally onto the front crawl. Fantastic event to see changes in lead depending on which strokes are better for the respective swimmers. Always be one that they favour. So interestingly to see what happens on the breaststroke, backstroke legs, depending on the swimmer's forte. Turning first on the butterfly is Widdowson from the City of Leeds, 35.82. Followed by Ball in lane 5 and Bianchi, City of Sheffield, in lane 3. So lane 4, touching there at the end of the butterfly leg. Jess Widdowson, City of Leeds, 118.43. By Jasmine Moore, Borough of Barnsley, 119.22. And lane 3, Charlotte Bianchi in 129.19. Jay Widdowson still maintaining that lead. The first turn of that backstroke. Closely followed by Jasmine Ball, Borough of Barnsley. It's interesting to see what happens on the breaststroke legs of these 400 metres, I find. Jess Widdowson really keeping that breaststroke really long and smooth. Jasmine Ball really coming back though on the breaststroke leg. Always a difficult place for the breaststroke to be in the 400 IM. Always the real killer of the 400 IM, the breaststroke, really tough. You've already done that 200 metres of butterfly and backstroke. It's about keeping composure for the breaststroke leg. Certainly was the stronger part of my IM back in the days of my swimming, but that said, I had to do the butterfly and the backstroke beforehand, so I was very tired by the time I got to this point. But these swimmers will have trained for this, so they'll be expecting the challenges where they arise. So lane 5, Jasmine Ball, Borough of Barnsley, pulling away on this backstroke leg. See what they've got left in the tank on this last turn. Into the penultimate turn into this freestyle 400 IM. So the question now is, can Jasmine Ball of Borough of Barnsley hold off Jess Widdowson, who's dominant in the fly and the backstroke legs of this 400 IM. Looking at the stroke rate from Jess Widdowson, probably edging towards the fact that Jess may well just take that place back, but it's not confirmed. So Jasmine Ball just in camera, so it was a little bit deceiving. The position of the camera on poolside. So pretty much on the shoulders of one another here. Neck and neck as they come down. Much quicker stroke rate from Jess Widdowson in the yellow City of Leeds hat in lane 4. Lane 5, the white hat, red costume of Jasmine Ball, Borough of Barnsley. Really close coming into this turn. Fantastic swimming from both these girls. By 2/100ths of a second, Jess Widdowson takes it from the City of Leeds, 5:47.28, followed by Jess Ball, 5:47.30 of Borough of Barnsley. And third, Charlotte Bianchi of City of Sheffield. So we're underway with Heat 2 of this girls' 400-metre individual medley. Lane 0, Maddie Wilson of Tynemouth. Lane 1, Emily Oliver of the Borough of Kirklees. Just gone in the 1,500 metres. This is a tough swim for her. Molly Green, the City of Leeds. In 3, Jessie Finley of the City of Sheffield. 4, Jenna Dougal of Derwenside. 5, Sienna Hoshing of the City of Leeds. 6, Millie Bosbyer of Middlesbrough. 7, Hannah Redshaw of Middlesbrough. 8, Cassia Rickleton of the City of Leeds. And in 9, Philippa Bromley, also of the City of Leeds.
The results from the first event, the 1500 metres freestyle. In the boys, 11 and 12 years, the bronze medal goes to James Slant from the Borough of Fairfield. Silver to William Morris from Middlesbrough, and the gold to Lou McGee from Sunderland. In the boys' 13 years, the bronze goes to Leo White for Derwentide, silver to Reece Rutherford from the City of Leeds, and gold to Benjamin Hodges from Stockton. In the boys' 14 years, the bronze medal goes to Ben Wright from Doncaster Dark, silver to Brandon Cartwright from the Borough of Fairfield, and gold to Mason Bland from Kingston upon Hull. In the girls' 11 and 12 years, the bronze medal goes to Emily Oliver from the Borough of Fairfield, silver to Emma Finlay from Gateshead and Wickham, and the gold to Ruby Knight from the Borough of Fairfield. In the girls' 13 years, the silver medal goes to Georgia Robertson from Sheffield, and the gold to Neve Carroll from the City of Leeds. In the girls' 14 years, the bronze medal goes to Bethany Crook from Grimsby, silver to Evie Barber from Grimsby, and the gold medal to Millie Boulding from the Borough of Fairfield. Congratulations to all medalists. Our medals can be collected from the medal table on poolside.
So just coming back into this 400 metres, just on the back to breaststroke turn. Head there is Millie Bobbiah, Middlesbrough, 2:41.07. Come to this part in the medley when everything can change. Over the breaststroke, backstroke and front crawl. Seeing who's got things left in the tank when it comes to that breaststroke to front crawl turn. But lanes 4, 5 and 6 pretty much together on this breaststroke turn. So Jenna Dougal of Derwentide in 4, Sienna Hosting of City of Leeds in 5, Millie Bosbyer of Middlesbrough in 6. So Sienna just turning first in 3:28.30. Out in lane 5, in the yellow hat. 4 in 6, Jenna and Millie of Derwentide and Middlesbrough respectively. Pretty much neck and neck as they come down this second leg of the breaststroke. So Sienna still maintaining that lead, 4:15.80 as she goes into the front crawl in this 400 metre individual medley. Followed by Jenna Dougal of Derwentide, 4:17.57. Second and a half behind Sienna, so this could change. And Millie Bosbyer of Middlesbrough in 6, still maintaining that third place, but we've got lanes 3 and lanes 2 coming back. Jessie Finney of the City of Sheffield and Molly Green of the City of Leeds. Again sporting that yellow hat that's very familiar in their own home pool. Very strong swimming from the lead swimmers today so far. But anything can change as we're seeing here, so really Sienna pulling away. Millie up in 6, maintaining that second place. But in 3, Jessie Finley, City of Sheffield in the red cap, just coming back. Really smooth stroke for this point in the 400 IM. Very efficient and showing that. Really coming back on the second. Can she take it? I think she might just be edged out by 6. She is by Millie Bosbyer, 5:36.54. Jessie Finley, City of Sheffield, 5:36.83. Just finishing up with those final swimmers coming in. In lane 1, Emily Oliver, Borough of Kirklees. And in lane 7, Hannah Redshaw, Middlesbrough, finishing there.
Well done, swimmers. We're now on to heat number 3. You are under the control of the referee.
Move on to heat number 3. Full complement of swimmers here. Ranging from 12 right the way through to 14. Lane 0, Megan Sharp of the City of Leeds. In 1, Pearl Lightwood of Middlesbrough. In 2, Olivia Hidiat of the City of Leeds. In 3, Seren Williams of the Borough of Stockton. In 4, Faith Blaine of the City of Leeds. In 5, Elizabeth Russell, also of the City of Leeds. In 6, Leonie Young of Billingham. In 7, Ashley Bailey of the City of Sheffield. In 8, Annabelle Cooper of Weir Valley. And in 9, Katie Stobbs of Tynemouth. So turning together on the majority there on that first turn for the fly. Katie Stobbs emerges the quickest touch in lane 9, right at the top of your screens. But anyone's game here. Coming down this second 50. So worth noting for you at home, if you've just joined us, that some of these girls that have swum in this event will have just swum in the 1500 metres. So some fantastic swimming and stamina being shown here to come out of your 1500 metres and jump straight back in the pool for a 400 metre individual medley. Fantastic. So just edging away in lane 6, Leonie Young of Billingham on the backstroke leg. Coming back is lane 0, Megan Sharp of the City of Leeds at the bottom of your screen in lane 0. So Leonie Young turning there in 1:57.77. It really shakes up the field, these different strokes. So 5, 7, 8 and 9, pretty much a dead straight line, and lane 0 there. Coming down on this final 20 metres or so of this backstroke leg. The white hat though of lane 6, Leonie Young of Billingham, really stretching away. Flip turns into the breaststroke. Interesting to see which swimmers opt for the more modern flip turn and who opt for the more traditional sort of side turn for the breaststroke. And how that affects their positions going into this breaststroke leg. Leonie Young, lane 6 of Billingham. Really stretching away, but again, this breaststroke leg could shake things up. Lanes 0 and 2, two City of Leeds swimmers just on the right of your screen. Really pushing lane 6, Billingham swimmer, who's dominated from the start. Olivia Hidiat, City of Leeds, in lane 2. Really hunting down lane 6, Leonie Young of Billingham. Very strong breaststroke leg from the swimmer in lane 2. And in lane 9, right at the top of your screen, not to be omitted, Katie Stobbs of Tynemouth. Just out of shot at this point. Sure we'll see them shortly. There we are, just edging into the shot. Lane 2, Olivia Hidiat, City of Leeds, really pulling back over this breaststroke leg of this 400 IM. Very strong from her. Lane 6, the white hat of Leonie Young. Just touching in third. Lane 9, Katie Stubbs, Tynemouth. Really coming back in that top lane. So lane 2, yellow hat of Olivia Hidiat, City of Leeds. Just proves that that person turning first in the fly or the backstroke may not necessarily be in the first place at the end of this event. Really does challenge every stroke, quite literally, in this 400 IM. Can she hold on though? That is the question. Olivia Hidiat in lane 2. Up in lane 9, Katie Stubbs, Tynemouth, going back really, really well. I think the City of Leeds swimmer may well just hang in there. Really kicking into this last 25 metres. Got lane 0 at the bottom of your screen, just coming back as well. Really kicking those legs. She comes down to this final 15 metres. Coming into touch in lane 2. It is Olivia Hidiat, City of Leeds, 5:29 at 41. Second, Katie Stubbs, fantastic comeback from her, 5:32.12. And in third, it is Leonie Young of Billingham, 5:35.27. There's some real shake-ups in the field going on today. Exciting watching on the live stream and in venue. Fantastic swimming.
Well done, swimmers. We're now on to heat number 4. You are under the control of the referee.
Just about to go into heat number 4. Looks like we've got a few swimmers missing from this one. Sometimes have a tendency to appear. Hopefully they don't miss the races, but looks like we've got 7, 8 and 9 missing. So that's Molly Green of Kingston upon Hull, Madison Johnson of Doncaster Darts and Amelie Fenton of the City of Sheffield. And we're underway in heat number 4 of this 400 metre individual medley. No swimmers in 7, 8 and 9. So no Molly Green, Kingston upon Hull, Madison Johnson of Doncaster Darts, or Amelie Fenton of the City of Sheffield. But we do have in lane 0 Rebecca Dunn of the City of Leeds, Martha Callaghan of the City of Leeds, Sarah Rutledge of the Borough of Kirklees goes in 2. In 3, Martha Everett of the City of Leeds. In 4, Georgia Hadley of the Borough of Stockton. And in 5, Lauren Empson of Rotherham Metro. Finishing with lane 6, Sarah Hedges of Grimsby Aquatics. So Georgia Hadley, Borough of Stockton, touching first on that turn. So lane 1, so apologies, lane 2 really emerging here as we come to the end of the fly leg, followed by 6 and 4. Rutledge, Hedges and Hadley. So lane 2, Sarah Rutledge, Borough of Kirklees, still maintaining the position as she takes on the backstroke element of this IM. Coming out of that turn, field closing up a little bit. Lane 2, Sally Rutledge still maintaining that lead. Followed by lane 4, Georgia Hadley, Borough of Stockton, 1:57.19. Lane 1, pushing a strong backstroke second length. Yellow hat, City of Leeds swimmer Martha Callaghan. Really coming back on lane 6, Sarah Hedges of Grimsby Aquatics. Both choosing what I would call a flip turn. I'm sure there's a technical term. If anyone wants to let me know, that would be great. But a flip turn there as they turn in. So lane 2 and lane 4. Lane 4 playing a bit more pace with her breaststroke here. Interesting to see on this second length of the breaststroke how the field stretches out, as it tends to. But lanes 4, 2 and 1 and 6 up there as well. Coming back on this breaststroke leg, it really does shake the field up, the back to breaststroke elements of this IM. And then it depends on what you've got left in the tank on that freestyle. A steady stroke rate being shown by lane 4, not rushing away. Keeping it smooth. The legs will be aching at this point when they turn into the front crawl. Head up first in lane 6. Sarah Hedges, Grimsby Aquatics. And lane 4, Georgia Hadley coming out of that turn. But it could be anyone's game on this first length of this freestyle. So coming into this turn, the yellow hat, the City of Leeds swimmer in lane 1, Martha Callaghan, really coming back here in this front crawl final 50. But really look at that field come back together. Six, 5, 4 and 1. Really coming into that straight line. Can that City of Leeds swimmer, Martha Callaghan in lane 1, can she hold on to this until the end of this 25 metres now, it looks like. Incredible swimming from this swimmer. She can really hold it out from that lane 1. Entry time for her of 5:35.02. She is going to touch out 5:33.14. So, yep, just under her entry time. Fantastic. She'll be pleased with that. Strong swim from out there in lane 1. Difficult to do. Second, Laura Empson. Third, Hedges in 5:35.29. Move on to heat number 5. Full field of swimmers for this one. In lane 0, Neve Abbey of Ashington. In 1, Molly Fisher of Rotherham. In 2, Libby Freeman of Tynemouth. In 3, Rebecca Keatley of Middlesbrough. In 4, Penny Hobson, the Borough of Kirklees. In 5, Leonie Jones, the Borough of Stockton. In 6, Alana MacDonald, also of the Borough of Stockton. In 7, Lily Bryant, the Borough of Kirklees. In 8, Isla Williams of the City of Leeds. And in 9, Taylor Ross of Kingston upon Hull. So turning first there in the fly leg, Leonie Jones, Borough of Stockton, 31.99. Followed by Molly Fisher, Rotherham Metro, 33.70. And Alana McDonald, Borough of Stockton, 33.89. Taking those first 3 places in the first turn of this 400-metre individual medley. So it is the silver hat in lane 5, Leonie Jones, Borough of Stockton. Still maintaining that lead as she turns into the backstroke leg. Not showing on those split times on the right-hand side, so have to trust me on that one. She did turn first, you can see it on the stream here. So you've got a few little gremlins still mixing about in our technical operation here. But Leonie Jones, Borough of Stockton, still taking that lead. See who touches on this backstroke 50. Will be Leonie turning first, but who's going to take that second spot? 7 and 6 turning pretty much simultaneously. But it is Lily Bryant, Borough of Kirklees, 156.56, followed by Alana McDonald, Borough of Stockton, 156.74. But nothing much to split them at the moment. And as we've seen in these other heats, anything can change over this 400 metres. So still maintaining her first place, Leonie Jones, Borough of Stockton. Lily Bryant, Borough of Kirklees, coming back in second, 156.56. That time hasn't actually updated, so apologies there, but just edging her out in lane 2, Libby Freeman, Tynemouth, down at the bottom of the screen. So Libby Freeman and Leonie Jones, Borough of Stockton, both pushing away from the field on this breaststroke leg. It's always on the second 50 that there'll be lanes coming back that weren't in the mix before. So we'll see how this pans out. Lanes 4, lane 6, even lanes 8 and 9. Keep the eye on the top lanes. City of Leeds swimmer Isla Williams looking strong over this breaststroke leg. Penny Hobson, Borough of Kirklees, in lane 4. In the dark hat there, next to lane 5, Leonie Jones. Really coming back. And touching in third there. As they come into this front crawl. Really digging deep for these girls now. Lane 2, Libby Freeman, Tynemouth, really stretching away. Very long front crawl stroke. Leonie Jones, Borough of Stockton. Been in the front of this field throughout the 400 IM. Still there, still up in second. Can she hold on to that? Looking to tire a little as she turns in lane 5. Freeman down in 2, turning first. Keep the eye on lane 8. City of Leeds swimmer Isla Williams coming back quite well on this 50-metre freestyle final leg. Libby Freeman from Tynemouth really showing some good strength in this front crawl. But lane 8, Isla Williams, City of Leeds, called it out early on. Always got to keep an eye on these outside lanes. Really strong from her. So Libby Freeman coming in at 5:27.28. Isla Williams indeed touching in second, 5:28.09. And then lane 5, Leonie Jones, Borough of Stockton, coming in third in 5:30.79. So we're now underway with Heat 6. A quintet of City of Leeds swimmers are in this field, noted by the bright yellow hats of the City of Leeds quintet that we see here. So in lane 0, Edith Hodgson, Borough of Kirklees. In 1, Ella Stabler, York City. In 2, Emily Brooke, Borough of Kirklees. In 3, Annabelle Wilkinson of the City of Sheffield. In 4, Ella Cooper of the City of Leeds. In 5, Amelie Turner, also of the City of Leeds. In 6, Hermione Rowe of the City of Bradford. In 7, Leah Schlosslen of the City of Leeds. In 8, Lauren Smith of the City of Leeds. And in lane 9, Melissa Morehouse, finishing the quintet of the City of Leeds. So 5 girls really leading away here on this fly leg. Really couldn't call it here. Who was going to touch first? Possibly in at lane 3 or 4, possibly 2 in fact. Who's deceiving from this angle? Here's lane 5. Amelie Turner, City of Leeds, 109.31. But not as much splitting them as they go on to the backstroke. And it is the 2 yellow hats of the City of Leeds swimmers pushing away here. Ella Cooper in lane 4, Amelie Turner lane 5. Now starting to allow the spearhead formation to form as they go into the second 50 of the backstroke. Again, 0.02 of a second splitting them, the 2 lead swimmers. Both 14 years of age. Turning in third, City of Sheffield swimmer Annabelle Wilkinson, 109.53. Apologies, we seem to be struggling with some gremlins with the timing. In fact, turning in third was Ella Stabler on that last 50, York City, 154.69. Again, the 2 City of Leeds swimmers really pushing away. See what happens on this breaststroke. So can the red hat of lane 3, Annabelle Wilkinson, City of Sheffield. Can she get back some ground in between her and the City of Leeds swimmers? I think she can. Certainly picking off lane number 5, Amelia Turner. But lane 4, Ella Cooper, City of Leeds, turning first. Both the City of Leeds swimmers still having the 1-2. The City of Sheffield swimmer Wilkinson coming back. All things might change at the end of this breaststroke. A lovely spearhead formation forming. First time in these heats we've seen that just yet. Nice to see though some great improvements on entry time being done by these regional swimmers. Really fantastic. So as we come up to this turn, City of Sheffield swimmer in lane 3, Annabelle Wilkinson. It's just about overtaking the swimmer in lane 5 from City of Leeds. However, lane 6 is coming back quite strongly. Hermione Rowe, City of Bradford, turning into this freestyle 100 metres. City of Leeds swimmer Ella Cooper really pushing away now. Been there pretty much at the front from the start of this heat. Fantastically strong all-round swim from her. Not really showing a particular weakness on any one stroke, which is great. Turning in second is Hermione Rowe. Coming back down this final 50, City of Sheffield swimmer Annabelle Wilkinson. Looking like she's going to touch in second. A strong swim from lane 4, Ella Cooper of the City of Leeds, touching in 5:10.05. Lane 3, Annabelle Wilkinson, City of Sheffield, 5:13.63. Lane 3, Hermione Rose, City of Bradford, 5:15.47. Wonderful swims from all these girls. Fantastic.
Well done, swimmers. We're now on to the final heat of this event. This is heat number 7, and you are now under the control of the referee.
Now move on to the fastest heat of this event. It's heat 7. Again, another quintet of lead swimmers. So pretty much in the line as they break the water on that 15-metre mark on this first length of the 400 IM. So turning first, we have Martha Bradley, City of Leeds, in lane 4. Just to go through these swimmers for you. Lane 0, Jasmine Campbell of Tynemouth. In 1, Eve Linton of Grimsby. In 2, Grace Conroy of the City of Sheffield. In 3, Faith McDonough of Borough of Stockton. In 4, Martha Bradley of the City of Leeds. In 5, Laura Thompson, also of the City of Leeds. In 6, Kidias Hodgson of the City of Leeds. In 7, Neve Carroll of the City of Leeds. In 8, Hannah Brown of Gates and Wickham. And in 9, Ione Logan of the City of Leeds. So turning first on the end of that fly leg is Martha Bradley, City of Leeds, 1:08.2 going into the backstroke. So huge dominance already in this heat as she comes down the first 50 metres of the backstroke. Strong backstroke and butterfly from Martha Bradley, turning at the 150 in 1:47.4. Lane 3, Borough of Stockton swimmer Faye McDonough, maintaining that second place, but still several girls pushing for that second position. You can see there from this angle lane 6, lane 5, lane 3, even lane 8 coming back there at the top, and lane 2. So we turn into the breaststroke. It's going to be so important in this 400 metres. Really can change up this field. So Martha Bradley pushing away there. Clear water between her and the nearest City of Leeds swimmer. Up in lane number 6, Kidias Hodgson. Really making her move on this breaststroke. Pushing up into second place for her. Third's a little more difficult to call. Lane 5 and lane 3, Laura Thompson and Faye McDonough, Borough of Stockton and City of Leeds. The familiar yellow and blue caps of those City of Leeds swimmers you see coming down. So at the moment, 1, 2, 3 City of Leeds. Can they hold on to that though? I'm sure there'll be rapturous applause in the venue if they can. So coming in lane 4, a really dominant swim throughout from Martha Bradley, City of Leeds. Split time at 300 metre, 3:50.67. So turning there on this final turn of the 400 IM, Martha Bradley 4:27.28. Her entry time 5:05.35. Still a leads 1, 2, 3 at this point. Lanes 4, lanes 5, lane 6. Martha Bradley, Lara Thompson, Kidius Hodgson. Really strong performance from these girls. So just waiting for the confirmed time for Martha Bradley, 5:02.48. Looks like a personal best for her on her entry time. 5:05.35 she entered with. 5:02.48 it looks like she is finishing with. Lane 2, Hodgson, 5:08.25 and 3. Faye McDonough, Borough of Stockton, 5:20.02.